Oh my goodness. So it's Monday morning and I do not have a video to upload tomorrow, and I was gonna skip the week, and then I'm sorry, just disclaimer, if you can hear all the traffic in the background, I'm sorry. I'm sitting outside and it's still like rush hour out here, so it's pretty busy on the road, so I'm sorry if you can hear that, but the weather has cooled down here and it's just so nice outside in the morning, so I want to make the most of it. But yeah, I haven't got a video to upload and I was gonna skip the week, but I wanted to be open and real and honest and come on here and just explain why and what's been going on, because I think last week was the hardest week of my whole life. No, well, I don't know about my whole life, but definitely the past year of parenting the boys. It was so difficult, and I don't know whether it was purely them or partly me and how I was feeling as well, or all the situations put into one. Probably most likely was, but I'm so glad it's a new week. It was so difficult, and there was moments where I just didn't think I was going to get through the week, so I thought I'd come and just have a sit down chat with you this week. I am going to be honest and be like, I think realistically I'm probably only going to manage a video a week because the boys are just hectic right now, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. So I've just got so much to do and I'm just not getting things done. So for now it's going to be one video a week. I tried to do two, I managed it for a few weeks, but it's just pushing me to the limits of like, I'm not enjoying it. So I don't want to do that. I want to be on here and I want to make good quality content for you guys. So anyway, yeah, I have been really struggling. I feel much better today and much more positive. It's a new week and I'm hoping things are going to be a bit easier this week. But last week, oh my god, let me just tell you guys. So I can't remember what happened on Monday. Hendrix, don't dig holes in the garden, please. I think Monday may have been okay. No, Monday wasn't okay. Okay, I've just remembered what happened. So it kind of started on Saturday. It's sort of been like the last 2 weeks actually. The boys had their 1 year checkup and they had 4 shots each, 4 vaccinations. No, darling, no. Stop whining, I'm trying to record a video. He hasn't been on a walk yet, so he is another level of excited and bored and playful. So if you hear him whining, that's why. Yeah, they had 4 shots each and we were expecting a bit of fussiness and all that stuff, and that was on the Wednesday. And then by the Saturday, Jack got poorly. He had a fever and then a rash came up on his face, and we were quite concerned, and we rang the like emergency number for the pediatrics. Was closed obviously because it was the evening. So yeah, we spoke to a night nurse and it was fine. I think it probably was just ended up being teething in the long run, but we weren't sure, or it was a reaction from one of the vaccinations. So anyway, he ended up being fine, but both of the boys for a week, a full week, were the grumpiest, clingiest, miserable little men that I've ever known, and it was just so difficult. I think partly it was due to teething, partly it was due to the fact that they're now walking, and maybe partly to do with the vaccinations, but it was just all so much happening at once and I just couldn't get a break. Like, I couldn't hold them both. Alec's working from home. He had some situation at work, so he meant he was actually at home all week, which doesn't help me at all because he can't help me during the day. He's just physically working, so it's like now I need to try and be quiet for him when he's on calls and things like that. So yeah, it was just an unbearable week, and I thought, when you're in those moments as a mum, and a new mum especially, you think it's never going to end. Like, you think it's just never going to pass, and it was just crazy. I think I cried multiple times every day of last week. It was just horrible, and there was nothing that I could do to sort of calm the boys down and make them feel any better. They just wanted to be held all day, and I learnt a lot from the week. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what I've learned and what I'm going to do going forward to sort of change my outlook on all these things, because I know situations like this are going to arise again and there's no easy fix. You kind of just have to roll with it at the time. So yeah, I don't have any exciting videos this week. This is all we're going to be doing, is a little sit down chat today. So I hope you're all enjoying this. Maybe you can do something in the background and just listen to me natter on, and then hopefully I'll be back next week with some more exciting content. But yeah, I thought last week that I was really at breaking point. I felt like I was going to have a nervous breakdown. I felt so unhappy, and I'm sure it wasn't all to do with the boys, it was just partly due to a lot of other things, but yeah, I just found myself in moments of like, I can't take this anymore. I would just be sat watching the boys cry, and it was just a horrible feeling. Like, I haven't had to deal with that. I've been lucky that I've always been able to help the boys when they're upset and crying, but when they were both so miserable together, I just had to leave them. I got to the point where I couldn't help them, and I had to leave them, try and sort it out themselves, and it was just horrible. So yeah, I was just an overall mess last week, and we're doing much better, but I want to be honest, because people probably go through this and just feel like they're so alone in these moments. I mean, I know I did, and every baby's different, every situation's different, every family's different, and you have similar experiences, but sometimes you feel like you can never relate to anyone. I know I do. So, you know, I hope this helps somebody somewhere, and if you're going through this at the time you're watching this, stay strong. It does end. I know that doesn't help, but it does pass. So when I was feeling really, really low last week, I think it hit me on Tuesday, Wednesday, that I was just at a point of like, how am I going to get through this? I decided to just not do anything all week. I wasn't going to put any pressure on myself to go out and meet anybody. I went out on the Tuesday to my regular like park meetup with the girls, and I found that I was just sitting there staring into space. I had no conversation. I was finding it really hard to really talk to anyone. The boys were being difficult down there, and I just thought, this isn't great. Like, I feel like I'm making my situation like heightened, because I'm going to get home and I'm going to be upset the way that I was being, and I wasn't being very open and chatty to people, and they don't really understand what's going on at home. And yeah, I decided the rest of the week I would cancel any plans that I had, and I wouldn't put any pressure on myself to do a thing at home. I would just literally sit with the boys and try and keep them as best happy as I could. And it helped a lot. That helped. I think I reached a turning point when I thought that something needed to change, the way I was being. Like, I do find that I have a negative side where I'm just trying to do a lot when the boys are awake and active and like needing my attention. Sometimes I'm just trying to do the cleaning or do the cooking or do this or do that, because I don't have any help. And so many people that I know have help, that they can't relate to this. But if you don't have any help, you really understand that there are so many jobs that you can do or that need to be done. And I think sometimes you can put the pressure on yourself to do all that, and you really need to just spend time with your baby. So I did. I just let everything go, and I just sat with them. And then if the house was a state, if the food wasn't cooked, whatever, like, it just didn't matter. I just tried not to care about it. And it's easier said than done, because I can't always do that, but I think I did reach my maximum capacity to take any more, and I just sat. So that helped a lot. On top of the boys nearly walking, they were doing a couple of steps and falling. Every time they fell, they would cry. Then they would play with toys and snatch each other's toys, and every time they snatched each other's toys, they would cry. They would cry if I wouldn't hold them. I kid you not, I would say every 5 to 10 minutes, they were having tantrums and crying all day long. And then on top of that, the nights were disrupted. 2 nights, each boy woke up and was up crying for 3 hours straight. And you can just imagine, all day, through the night as well, like that amount of crying, it just brings you to the point of like, what am I doing wrong? I felt like I'm doing so much wrong, and it's all past now, and they seem so much happier. So it's just a phase and a stage, but you do blame yourself, and that is another thing. I was trying to just know that whatever it is they're going through, it's nothing that I can control. I just have to let it slide and let it evolve, pretty much. So yeah, because I was struggling so much and like finding it hard to like mother the boys, I just felt like I needed to just escape from them. I decided to look online for some articles and some videos on like burnout and motherhood problems and things like that, and I didn't get very far because I listened to one video and the first sentence just hit home to me, and it was motherhood is a marathon, not a sprint. And she went on to explain how every time your baby cries, for example, you can't rush over and just fix the problem. Like, this is ongoing for years. You can't always address every single matter, and that's what I felt I've been trying to do with every little thing. If they have a tantrum at the high chair, if they fight with the toys, if they don't want to do something that I'm asking them to do, if they don't want to wake up from their nap, if they don't want to go to bed, like, I'm trying to fix all the little problems all the time, and it's just not healthy. You cannot do that. So I sat and I've listened to things, and I've like tried to change my outlook and realised that, okay, they're upset because of that. I'm just going to leave them deal with it, and they don't need my full attention right now. So yeah, it's helped, and it's made me sort of realise that we're going to have moments like this and weeks like this and times like this, and I need to be prepared for that. So it was just a little bit of an eye-opener, really. It was so difficult, and I know I've got times like that to come, and harder times and more crazy times. So I'm nervous, but yeah, it's kind of made me a little bit worried. But I need to learn to just relax a little bit more. Another friend of mine was telling me that women and men, how different they are with babies when they cry. When women hear babies cry, they either, if they're a mother themselves or like really want children or quite a motherly figure, they want to comfort the baby and help them. Whereas if they're not really that keen on like having children themselves, or it's just not something that's on their radar, they find it irritating, and again, they want to stop the baby crying. But men can just sort of drown that sound out. I mean, maybe you're a man and you're watching this and you're like, no, I can't. But overall, like, I know Aled can just hear them cry and he's not even like phased. He doesn't even stop watching TV, you know, and I'm like, I can't relax, I can't do anything until they calm down. So that was interesting to me, trying to be more like a man. So yeah, I just wanted to let you all know what my takeaway from this is, because I wasn't in a very good place last week, and I don't want to be that person again when the boys are unhappy. So I'm just going to approach my days and my weeks differently, and when that does happen, I'm just going to take stuff so much slower and realise that I can cancel plans. I don't have to do this and that and every job under the sun, and I will just sit with the boys, cuddle them as much as they need, try and play with them, or just try and, I don't know, just be present with them, because it doesn't matter about everything else at that time. So yeah, that's it, guys. I know this was very short and sweet, but if anybody has any other words of wisdom or knowledge or advice, I would love to hear it, because it was so hard. And yeah, one bit of positive news though is that, if you don't know, as of November, the UK are allowed to travel to the US, which means my family may be able to come out, and I am so excited. I cannot even tell you. My mum is planning on coming out over Christmas. She has her flights booked, so if you're watching this, please pray for me. Continue your prayers up until Christmas, because I'm so excited now. If anything goes wrong, I think I'll just be devastated. So I'm very excited for that, and that's definitely helped put me in a better mood. And it's a new week, so we're gonna have a good time over here, and I hope to be back on here next week with some more positive, happy content. Yeah, I'm excited for the next couple of months. I love this time of year, and the weather's cooled down, so that means I can enjoy going out with the dog and the boys at more flexible times, which is lovely, because I was getting so bogged down with going out so early in the morning. I need a bit more rest in my life. So yeah, just feeling much better today, much more positive. And I also put so much pressure on myself to make these videos, and I know you guys just want real, honest day in the lives and things that I'm doing. So that's it. That's what's happened last week. I tried to get some videos of the boys acting up, but actually I think Aled got one, which is really funny. I'll just quickly show you. This is an example of what happens when I leave the house, either if I just go and take the dog for a walk, or I go outside to do something quickly and come back in. They want to follow me everywhere, and the crying is unbearable. So this was me after I came in from walking the dog. That went on for 2 full minutes, and I ended up having to go and feed them breakfast, but they both run to me. They both want me to hold them. If I pick one up first and not the other, he has a tantrum. And then when I do hold them both, they don't want to both be held. They just want to be on their own. So it's just so difficult. And yeah, they do it when I enter the house, when I leave the house, just even when I go from room to room sometimes if they're in a fussy mood. So you can hear that crying. It just really, it does something to you. It really does. So yeah, here's to a happier week, less crying, more happiness, less grumpiness, and I hope you all have a great week as well, and I'll see you next time. Bye.